I don't even go for the Northern Governors Forum.
Because you already said that, you know, that which is a fact, the PDP governors are actually more in number. They dominate the entire Nigeria.
No, that was then. That was then. Now we are only 23. We have reduced so much that we are worried.
23 out of 36 is
we are worried. We are worried. We shouldn't. The PDP is such a fantastic party. It's the only national party in Nigeria. We should not have anything less than 30 governors at any point in time. Because that's the only party that Nigerians have. That's the only party that is not ethnic inclined. That's the only party that has no regional agenda. That's the only party that has no tribal agenda. That is the only truly national party that belongs to nobody. That's the only party without a godfather that gets things done with just a telephone call. That's the only party that Nigerians have. And therefore the PDP should not even have less than 30 governors.
A lot of people would disagree with you when you say that's the party that doesn't have a godfather, because in fact that word, that coinage, even though it's always been there, people thought it was the PDP that had
the person who the PDP godfather is he the former chairman Gamede? Is he the former chairman Audogbe? Is he the former chairman Amadu Ali? Is he the former chairman Wodo? Is he the former chairman Obulapo? Is he the former president?
At every point in time when anyone was in office, could be a
No. You are looking at when somebody is elected a leader. You know, leadership is different from godfatherism. A godfather is somebody who sits down to produce numerous leaders. I don't want to name them, but if you look at the West, you remember that we had the strong man at Adedibu. I think it was in Oyo State or so. Yeah. That's the kind of, you can say that was a godfather of politics. Where he can, am I right? So a PDP is the only party in Nigeria without a godfather. I'm saying that
you need a national godfather.
Okay. Maybe
you can have regional, you know.
Okay, you may have family godfathers. You may have family godfathers. You may have family godfathers. You may have local government godfathers. No, but in terms of the national outreach, don't forget you can't beat the PDP. The only hope that Nigerians have, if anybody wants to win election in Nigeria, you go to the PDP. And PDP is the only political party that fields candidates in every council in Nigeria, every ward in Nigeria. In 774 local governments, we field candidates in all in Nigeria.
Talking about elections now, quickly, I must put this. What about, you talked about your number that has actually depleted to 23. What about the measure of the APC, the coming of the APC rather?
No, I said it before when I was handing over.
The PDP should be worried about that.
Worried about what? No, we encourage a strong opposition. Because that's the only way you can have an alternative. If we are not doing well, you kick us out and then we bring in an alternative. I'm worried when we don't have strong opposition in Nigeria because we want to deepen democracy. So we are very happy. We welcome the APC. The only problem is that APC as a drug is outmoded. And then, you know, that was why we brought up Panadol. And if it's not Panadol, it's not the same thing as Panadol. So APC really cannot cure a lot of diseases now. And that's the simple truth. So APC... in fact, you can see even how they started. They did not start from the constitutional provision how they should merge, where they should merge one by one. You'll be surprised that even when we were making noise on pages of newspapers, they had not yet written to INEC that they wanted to form APC. INEC was not aware of it, and the next thing was, INEC has refused to register us. We had this another party called APC. So you first started by choosing a name.
And some also accuse the PDP of having a hand in the other APC.
But it's all politics. It's all politics. PDP does not have a hand in it. But if PDP had a hand, then I would say that's a good strategy. Because you also have to make the opposition uncomfortable. They are making you uncomfortable, so why shouldn't you make them uncomfortable? The opposition should have done its homework well. Before you go for registration as a major, you should merge first. And it is after a merger that you now select the name. You don't just sit down at home and your child is not born and you say, my child is going to be called John. And then suddenly the child comes out a woman. And then you are now saying, they've taken the name John from me. And they want me to call my child a Kaite. You have to know that, really, that you shouldn't even blame anybody. You should not have given the child a name before the child was born. You should have waited for the sex of the child to come. I think that's the point.
Yeah, I know Chairman wants to put this, but again, because a whole lot of people will not forgive us coming to Akwa Ibom and not ask you, perhaps, to clarify.
Please.
That you used your hand to strike off someone who was elected.
Tell the admirers of the uncommon transformation. Tell the admirers of Governor Godswill Akpabio that the governor is a Democrat. You will never engage in that kind of thing. I was misunderstood. What happened was that we had a political meeting before the primaries, where lists of people were given to me. possible candidates for the Senate in my senatorial district. And I struck off the name of the person that was recommended to me. And I said, no, that I prefer another person because the senatorial seat should be zoned to the minority two local governments within my senatorial district. And that was before the primaries and long before the general elections. So, of course, Nigerians do not like to hear the truth. So, that's
why they're asking.
No, that's why I please tell them that the issue I'm discussing was a political meeting, a political conglomeration that where we converge and discuss the affairs of who should contest the Senate within the rank and file of an in-house arrangement before the primaries. And after the primaries, of course, we were trying to decide who we should vote for and what area we should vote for. That was what I was referring to. And I went further in that same meeting when the minister came, Minister Maku, and his team to explain what I said, that this was before the PDP primaries. And after the PDP primaries, there was a general election. I am not INEC. Even INEC cannot strike out somebody's name and put another person's name after election victory has been announced. So how can somebody ever explain? And if you watch what happened in 2007, you realize that I was also struggling for my own mandate. I was a struggler. I was not even in a position to decide who should be a councillor because I was even my own primary was disputed. So for over 2 months, I also had to be struggling to hang on to my ticket so that I could eventually emerge as a candidate. So when will I have had the authority to go and counsel somebody's name? So please explain them. And somebody needs to know, this was not even a general election. This was not even a primary. It was not even an election we were discussing about.
Internal arrangements?
No, I'm saying before we go to the voting, we're trying to decide who we will vote for at the primaries. And the primaries are not held then. So, but I couldn't say anything on this issue because Nigerians prefer, I don't know how to put it, I think bad news is good news. Or how do I call it? We call it I think people try to make a mountain out of a molehill.
Okay, let's take a few questions from people who are watching out there. Ibom says we should ask you, why have you not kept your promise of 31 industries per local government?
That's the telling that industries are not things you build in a day. And that the process is still on. And that's why we are doing a roadshow. And I was telling you about the Baka Industrial City project. It will come with fertilizer plant, it will come with ammonia plant, it will come with the fabrication yard, it will come with a lot of things. And these things are not going to be done by the government. These are things that are going to be done by the private sector in collaboration with government. And I just told you that one industry is already ready for commissioning. That's the gas processing plant, which is already a private sector affair done by Scepter Energy. They just collaborated with the state government and ready for commissioning. And I've commissioned a few small-scale industries in about 3 locations in the state already. So tell the person that I will give account at the end. We are very determined to ensure that we create employment opportunities for our children. We have already finished. We are not through with infrastructure. We are still going ahead. In fact, right now, we have completed at least 4 major flyovers, which you can go around and see. We have done at least 1,200 kilometers of routes. We have done at least 300 urban routes. We have done at least 5 brand new general hospitals. We are building a state-of-the-art international hospital at a time here. We are now on the final floor. We are building a second 5-star hotel, which we are on the 15th floor. We are building a shopping mall, which is completed. We have finished the Cineplex, and 6 cinema studios are functional. We are building an international terminal building as I speak with you now. We are doing a second runway. We have done the first phase of the international airport on Akwa Ibom, and we have at least 3 different airlines coming every day. In 2011 alone, we carry 403,000 passengers. We are doing a second runway. We are doing the maintenance, repair, and overhaul facility. I've just got permission from the federal government to dualize from here to Abia State. And we have started that already, the dualization of Uyo to Aba, in order to create economic linkage and bring the 2 states together. And we have, in housing, we have delivered. As I speak now, we have finished 2,000 units of houses. We have roofed them. And we are going to hit 10,000 units of houses.
May I quickly butt in here then and quickly pose another one, because we have to take as many as possible. This one is from Anekeme Thimba, and he's wondering about the welfare of workers. You definitely want your workers to be able to purchase some of the things that you have in your state.
Yes, we have just brought the workers to join the National Housing Scheme again.
Is it true that they are old salaries?
No, they're not in Akwa Ibom. Where?
Okay.
No, not in Akwa Ibom. Akwa Ibom was the first state to pay the 18,000 minimum wage. And not only that, I take salary payment of workers as a first line charge. It's a project on its own.
What about the contributory pension scheme?
We have signed that into law. And then
you signed it into law?
We have signed it into law. And then we're going to commence implementation shortly by appointment of pension managers. We have signed that into law. In the next 10 days, the pension managers will be in place.
So the future of Akwa Ibom workers is definitely safe.
Oh my God, the workers have never had this good. And